And so some can come with a few flicks and some need more suction, they need more pressure, and they need longer time. Like just knowing all of what I know in my background as a sexual health educator, knowing my own body, and then being able to explore women's bodies and talking to them about what they like. That's how I have perfected my technique. And I'm telling you, like, I've had no complaints.
I'm Amy, sex educator, sex and relationship coach, and co-owner of PurePleasureShop.com.
And I'm April, sex toy maven, VP of Hot Octopus, and I've dedicated my life to the business of sex. We're two people with a passion for educating and inspiring shame-free conversations about sex and relationships. Welcome to the Shameless Sex Revolution.
Want to learn more? Go to shamelesssex.com, and for 15% off of some of our favorite sex toys, use coupon code shamelesssex at purepleasureshop.com.
You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to the Shameless Sex Podcast, your Munch edition. Not Munch, like where all the kinky folks go meet at Denny's to meet each other, because yes, that is a thing.
That is a thing? I didn't know that.
It is a thing.
The Munch.
Yes, they all go meet at a diner and all like get to know each other, other kinky folks.
And then they eat food and talk about munching.
In life, probably.
Well, Tyomi is great about talking
about
munching.
So yes, and that was not an insult to all you kinky folks or you munchers. But this episode is Munch, meaning like munch that box, with Tyomi, how to eat a pussy like a boss right here.
And you'll hear her bio. And let me tell you, we finally got to meet her in person at the Vibe Expo in January in LA. And we witnessed her teaching in person for the first time, because we've always done this obviously on Zoom, just location wise. It's easier for everyone. And she is, you're going to hear about her bio soon, but her course was incredible because she has the Cowgirl workout.
Which we have a whole episode on. But she also is an amazing sex educator. Yeah. With the way she delivers information. And then whenever she's on our show, what was the other? How to suck dick like a boss.
So she did. Okay. I was like, I believe that was, and this one is how to eat pussy like a boss.
Yeah.
Because she is a fucking boss.
It is. And she is, just so everyone knows, when you meet her in person, she is everything that you hear on air and more. So she's fucking awesome.
And she's gorgeous. And she has a dog that's like the same size as Legend.
And that's why you should listen.
But he's all Maltese, but they played so hard and I love her.
They played hard.
They did.
They munched that. Okay.
No, they did not. Amy, don't go down that road.
Those butts.
They did.
Like a boss. All right. Anyways, so this episode is coming out right after we just did our very first live show in Portland.
Shout out to everyone that came out in Portland. That was so much fun. Shout out to Dirty Lola
and Dixie De La Tour.
And Dixie De La Tour. It was awesome. And what we realized is that not only people need to buy VIP tickets because we give away a shit ton of extra toys in your VIP gift boxes or gift bags, because we have amazing sponsors that are giving you their high-end toys. Amy and I's favorite toys.
Oh my goodness.
We're sponsored by Magic Wand and Sport Sheets.
Yeah, VIPs and we're sponsored by them. Thank you. We love these brands.
Thank you, Magic Wand.
We curated these brands, by the way. We're picky as fuck, as you know about sex toys. Magic Wand. We also have Sport Sheets, which is our favorite kind of more like softcore kink brand.
They make the under the bed restraints.
We just did a video with you hogtied, and we
did the hogtie, which I've talked about. So but they have so many, a crop that we didn't put on air. And then Magic Wand makes the mini one, the
all
big one,
sizes,
the plug-in one.
April's favorite sex toy, Aneros, which is the ultimate prostate toys. We've had Forrest from Aneros on our show many times.
And then Pure, so it's PJUR, makes our absolute favorite. If anybody loves a little bit of clitoral stimulation, they have this incredible clitoral stimulation. It's water-based, and it goes on your clit, and it gives you this really great sensation. And they also make amazing, it's made in Germany, water-based lubes. Yep. You're going to love their stuff. And then Womanizer. Amy's talked about Womanizer about 7 million times.
The Womanizer Premium too. Oh my God. I actually used it last night, the night before, and the night before.
And the toys that all these folks are giving away are incredible, but you have to buy VIP tickets.
And the last will be Uber Lube. We love Uber Lube. It's our all-time favorite lube over all lubes in general. So if you get a VIP ticket, everyone, first of all, come to the show. It's like $25. So if you're in Chicago, Seattle, but if you upgrade, I think it's like $40, you're going to get over $200 worth of free toys.
And you get extra time with us. Yep. We do a segment where you can actually get your sex question answered for most of you. We're doing what we can. And
it's limited. We don't have have that many VIP
There's
spots.
only and you get a table in the front. So for an extra $40 upgrade, come see us. Mano.
It will be
at Zany's in Chicago.
Zany's in Chicago, and the Crocodile, I believe, is what is in Seattle.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
My memory works. All right. Thank you to our sponsors, and we look forward to seeing you all there. And at the end, just kidding.
You have to check out our reels though on Instagram, because what we just filmed was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Amy and I were dying laughing.
April was hogtied.
And Amy almost killed my back she didn't know, and I couldn't say it because we were filming, and I was like, my back. She's like, what are you talking about? You like it?
I was just trying to straddle you.
Yeah, it was great.
I had consent, but
You did. No, but I was like, my back.
I also didn't. Anyways, more safe words. Speaking of safe words, Discord is the safe word. If you all want to connect with other like-minded folks from the Shameless Sex community, go join our Shameless Sex Discord, and we have an event Tuesday, June 25th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and meaning I will definitely be there, maybe April too, and it is, who knows, a Q&A. Sometimes we play Jeopardy.
I'm leaving on a red eye to Chicago that night,
so I will be there and she won't. But
I might
anyways,
not be there. I'm sorry. I always feel bad.
You'll
get
me.
There. You'll get Amy. Amy's way more fun.
Even aside from the events, you connect with other like-minded folks. And so just so you know, the link is in the show's description. Click that link, and then there is a verification process to join. Meaning you have to show your Instagram profile and how cool you are. I'm just kidding.
No,
that's not
don't.
it at all. But just be patient if it takes a little bit of time for you to get into the group. Hope to see you there.
That's a safety measure anyway.
I know, exactly, because it's a community.
We don't need trolls over there being
trolling.
fucking jackass trolls.
Jackass trolls.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of jackass trolls, there's a chicken outside our door.
Cluck, cluck, we love you.
Yeah, they know it sounds like an ADD moment, but there's literally a chicken outside our door.
June 25th, 5 p.m. Pacific time, did you
Yes.
say? Okay, got it. Well, maybe I'll join you from the airport.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But it'll be loud as fuck. That's what I hate about airports.
I know.
It's really difficult to do
Every
anything.
time I take a call in the airport, I'm like, this is a bad
terrible,
idea.
And then I'm like, what'd you say?
Can I tell you a story?
No.
It's short.
I want
Once
it.
I scheduled an abortion in the airport.
Wait,
I had to go to the Costa Rica.
It wasn't at the airport. It was just you scheduled.
I was in the airport scheduling an abortion.
Well, that just went dark deep, but okay. But
I know. It was like not a fabulous memory. It was like, this is really heavy.
It's hard to do anything at the airport.
I was like, I had the IUD. Everyone, okay, don't judge. And abortions happen, and it was not a fun time. Okay, ready for a sex question?
Yes. What a different turn than I thought.
This one's fun. It's actually very much related to what I was doing to you earlier with the hog tie.
Oh, Lord,
sex.
okay.
No, it's fun. It's not about abortions. Okay?
I haven't read it yet.
So here's a question. My boyfriend and I want to get into bondage, but we are brand new and honestly a little scared. What are some safe or more softcore ways to try bondage out? Ropes seem complicated, and the handcuffs we've tried, they really hurt. Any tips?
Can I just say something about this? First of all, I agree that ropes are
handcuffs.
Ropes are complicated too. Unless you are really invested, they are complicated. They can be beautiful, and it takes a bit more time. And then the handcuffs I've tried hurt so much.
Even with the fuzzy thing.
I can't wear bracelets because I get bruises, even with the fuzzy things, the metal cuffs. And so, I mean, Sport Sheets, duh. I mean, this is their hog tie system, even if you don't want a hog tie. I mean, we've had that video. Remember when we did that video of the door swing?
Yeah.
That back in the day. How long ago? That was a while ago. I feel like that was during COVID.
We almost broke that door too. We were having fun.
It was at my house. I know. I was like, the handle. It was great.
So yeah, I like
Sport Sheets, right?
I want to say I just really appreciate when people ask these questions, because getting into anything bondage, like tying someone up, or most aspects of BDSM or kink, please seek out advice, support, education before you go into these realms, because safety, consent applies to all kinds of sex, but especially safety with this, because, with bondage particularly, you're taking away someone's ability to move. The hog tie set that we used on you today, the Sport Sheets hog tie system, if you really wanted to, you could get out of it.
You can. Yeah. I got out of it myself. Yeah. You just unhinge the clips.
Yeah. So
it's still sturdy.
It's not like locking you in there.
No. I've had it for 10 years.
Yeah.
I got it and it's still amazing shape. I love that thing.
But still, so earlier you were talking about how, like, for the video, I was kind of like maneuvering in a way that didn't feel good, and we were doing this for a video. But normally, you could as long as you have a ball gag in, you could be like, Amy, that hurts. 2, you could get yourself out. And
3, I'm not usually on an uncomfortable couch.
I'm just wearing jeans and heels,
and I'm wearing jeans and heels. I didn't prep for that, and I had to angle my neck at the camera to talk, and that hurts, and my shoulder is like it's damaged from a surfing
Normally,
accident.
you would
not a
be-
surfing accident. Surfing, like I just like pulled a tendon surfing back in the day.
And it lingers. And normally you'd be, laying comfortably on a bed and probably naked or in lingerie or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're super comfortable. So with the handcuff thing, so people have tried the metal ones, even with the fuzzies, there are plenty of other restraint systems that are not made of metal that feel really good. Sometimes they're leather. Sometimes they're made of like a neoprene. Sport Sheets makes a bunch of these things that feel just really soft on your wrists, and they can lock you in place, but then they're not hurting your wrists, right? You're like, and again, if you need to get out, you can get out. They're like the perfect beginner bondage brand or products.
And also the under the bed restraint system.
I love that.
People always ask about where to get, and you don't have to spend a bunch of money. You can put it under your mattress. If you have a box spring, you can actually put it between your mattress and your box spring. If you don't have a box spring, you can put it under your actual, if you have like a frame of a bed, and then you can tuck it in. So if you have kids or you don't want your roommates to know, or you just don't want to trip over it by, accidental tripping, which can happen if they're just dangling. But then they flip over onto your mattress when you're ready to use them. So it's sort of like this tuck and go situation, and they're really great.
I love that
they're beautifully made.
I love that they have the ability to do wrists and ankles.
Yes.
And then you can do it in a way where like you spread the legs open. Ooh, that's hot.
When we talked to Melanie Rose, she was talking about, she does build sex rooms, and she's an interior designer, and these little things that you can do to bring the spice to your space that maybe you don't want it to be exposed. Like, I'm gonna have a sex swing hanging in the middle of my bedroom. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you do. Great. If you don't want that and you want an actual bed to sleep in, you can do the under the bed restraint system, or they have the crop, which you're gonna give me. I haven't tried their crop, but it's right here because they sent Amy all of our stuff, and she's like, you have this crop. I'm excited about it.
They have all kinds of fun stuff. And so like at the end of the day, when you're new to bondage, start with things that 1 are comfortable, 2 that you can get out of if you need to, 3 are easy to maneuver, right? And then just start slow with them, try them out, and I always like when you start trying like a new act, or more an act, not just a toy, like set the intention of the container of trying that to be like a little goofy, right? Like we're doing the under the bed restraint system or the hog ties, and you're like, I don't know, a little to the left, a little to the right, a little more of this, a little less of that, because you're figuring out how to do bondage, and that's a new thing for you. Make it fun.
And we've had this podcast for 7 years, and I still am not confident enough to tie someone up with rope. So
Me either.
I feel you, questioner, listener,
I don't even
that's
think my brain can
questioning.
figure it out.
Ropes are complicated, and so you can buy books on it, and we've had shows about it, and it is really it's a practice. So if you want it just to be simplistic and you want something easy, all of these things are there, and they're a lot of them are Velcro with Sport Sheets makes it. It's like, and it's still soft.
Yeah,
so.
soft with strong Velcro. And if you want to try any of these things, by the way, you can go to purepleasureshop.com, use coupon code ShamelessX. You get 15%.
Is it Shameless Sex or just Shameless?
Shameless Sex and Shameless. They both work.
Oh, they both. Oh,
Yeah.
Good to know.
And then we also have so many episodes on bondage, but the one that stood out to me, and I know April too, because we love Orpheus Black. We love all of our educators, by the way, if you're listening and we're not talking about your episode and you did bondage. And we just want to say Orpheus Black, episode number 333. Can't forget that. He does this episode called Tie Me, and he knows all the things. I think he even talks about rope and the different textures of rope.
He's
and
an
types of
expert.
rope. Yeah.
He actually is an expert.
Yeah.
He's
All things
had
kink.
so many years of experience, and we did episodes on spanking and even choking,
Doming,
and
subbing.
he's actually like an expert witness in court because he
He's
is such
amazing.
an expert. So
Yeah.
check out that 333. That's so easy.
333. Go check it out.
333. It's
Orpheus
so
Black.
easy.
And if you want more information, again, as we said, it's on our podcast. We have plenty of episodes on kink, BDSM, and on bondage. And if you want other resources and to listen to someone else, here's who we suggest: Sex Ed with DB.
She's a badass.
Awesome.
She's been on our show.
She's been on our show, and she does all kinds of things, including episodes on kink and beyond. So we're going to give you a little teaser on DB's energy because she's amazing.
It's only like a minute. It's a minute.
It's a minute. What you got? Then we got a bio and a podcast. Come on.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Take a second and think back to the sex education you had in school. Did it prepare you to have a healthy and happy relationship with sex and identity? If it was anything like mine, it was stigmatizing, judgmental, and totally unhelpful. But not to worry. The experts are here to offer the sex ed we wish we had. Welcome to Sex Ed with DB. We're a feminist podcast and multimedia platform bringing you all the sex ed you never got through unique and entertaining storytelling, centering LGBTQ and BIPOC experts. We cover an array of sex education topics like abortion, period management, sex and disability, pleasure, reproductive justice, healthy relationships, BDSM, birth control, sex in the media, and so much more. We believe that everyone deserves comprehensive, inclusive, pleasure-centered, medically accurate sex education. Follow along with us as we revolutionize the way we talk about sex, and tune into Sex Ed with DB wherever you get your podcasts.
Just love me some DB.
We got to meet her in person too at the last trade show
as
in Los
fun in
Angeles.
person.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
I feel as though I may say like or amazing too much, but it's a really great word to describe someone.
It's even cooler when you do it in that accent.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's not real, so sorry.
Everyone go check out the Sex Ed with DB
Thank
podcast.
you, Danielle Bezalel.
And her TikTok is awesome too. And her Instagram. Go check them out in the notes. There's a link in the notes in the episode's description.
I love it. Okay, you ready for Tyomi's amazing bio?
I mean, is anyone ready? Because she's super amazing.
I know. Okay, here we go. Certified sexologist Tyomi Morgan is an international pleasure coach with 12 plus years experience as a thought leader, writer, and influencer in the field of sexuality. Tyomi is the founder of the Cowgirl Workout and is a member of the National Coalition for Sexual Health. She also serves as the seminar coordinator for the Exotica Expo, the largest event dedicated to love and sex in the USA. To learn more about Tyomi, click the link in the show notes.
All right, everyone, is interview time. And we are here with the wonderful, the fabulous Tyomi. And before we hit record, we were already talking about this because Tyomi's been on our show twice.
Yes.
And our number 2 episode, still to this day, 6 years later, is How to Suck Dick Like a Boss. Then we did the Cowgirl Workout. Then April and I got to meet Tyomi in person at the Vibe Expo.
And not only meet her,
yes, go to her
your workshop, which was so dope. It was standing room only. I was on the floor, and I was on the floor both physically and mentally taking in everything that you were providing, the information, the delivery, the way that you can work the room and let them know how to do what they really want. Like, I was learning stuff. I've still taken some of that stuff home.
Oh, yeah. And every time I'm on top, I'm like, what would Tyomi do?
That's what a lot of people say after they've been to my class or like seminar.
And I will say, like, you know, I mean, I sit on the floor a lot of places. I'm like a hippie hybrid, but April doesn't. And so we're like, we will sit on the floor for this workshop because we know it's going to be fucking badass. So anyways, we love you. And one of the, last times we spoke, we discovered that you're ready to teach us how to eat pussy like a boss.
Of course. And it's so timely because I'm teaching that at the Exotica Expo in Miami this year, because we don't talk about this enough publicly. Like, there's so many dick sucking classes and, podcast episodes across the sexual health podcast sphere about sucking dick, but we leave pussy out. And I'm just like, let's go. Why not do this on the Shameless Sex podcast?
Yes. Perfect. And also we heard a little, we'll talk about this later, but a little inside tip that you might be starting your own podcast. So just planting that seed, everyone. But for everyone who's listening, maybe you've heard Tyomi on our show the last 2 times. Maybe you have not. And also you already heard a little bit of Tyomi in our bio. But Tyomi, we always start with the same prompt. Can you please tell us and our listeners a little bit more about how you got to where you are today in the field of sexuality?
Of course. It's an amazing story, honestly, because it started with a conversation with my dad.
That's unusual.
2009, 2010, I was modeling and acting primarily, and I got a really good opportunity to do America's Next Top Model. And my dad was like very proud of me, but he's like, that's cool and all, but you're such a prolific writer. You should be writing. And he's like, I don't care what you write about. Just use your skills for something. So I was like, all right, Dad. So this was when like blogging was really starting to get a rise. And I was also encouraged by my late aunt, Nicole, who is like my personal hero. She passed away in 2009, but she encouraged me to start a blog. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. But what could I talk about that I think is going to be impactful in the world and I know a lot about? And I thought about it and I was like, oh, sex. Because I started studying sex and like sexual health and the Kama Sutra and all these wonderful things in high school because I had an interest in it. I was a virgin, but I was like a nerd. So it's like, I'm going to study this. And so I just took all the knowledge that I had from the books and then the things that I was experimenting with in real life. And I was like, let me do some research and see what's out there. Now, at this time, this was like no Instagram, no TikTok, no Snapchat. All right.
Was there Tumblr yet? Was Tumblr out yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Tumblr was out.
Okay.
MySpace was still around.
Okay.
Twitter was just starting and YouTube just started. So all of the sexperts and the people that are like here doing their thing now, a lot of people did not exist. And if they did, they didn't have like an internet following and it wasn't yet this big boom that it is now. So when I was doing my research, I was seeing a lot of information out there, but I wasn't seeing a lot of information that was like speaking to me in the way that I wanted to be spoken to, especially as a Black woman. And then I was like, where's the Black people? So I started researching. I was like, oh, I don't see many at all with an actual social media following or like social prominence. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to be one of those keyboard warriors. I'm just going to start my own thing. And I did. And I started my blog, glamorerotica101.com, and its YouTube channel. And then on YouTube, I started doing sex position tutorials because I was like, this is the bread and butter of sex. People need to know about these positions and the mechanics of them and the do's and don'ts, the pros and the cons. And stuff took off very quickly for me. And then I founded the Cowgirl Workout because all of my tutorials on cowgirl positions, women all over the world were just like, what do we do when we get up there? So I made 3 tutorials and they went viral, but I still had so many women who were just like, I still don't know what I'm doing. So I created a workout to help women feel more empowered in their bodies, to learn how to move intimately and to build a deeper mind and body connection. And I started touring the world in 2016 with that. And it's 2024. The Cowgirl Workout is still going strong. And there are some great things on the horizon for the Cowgirl Workout as well. So I've been in this business for about 12 years now. I think this year marks 12 years. And it still feels like the beginning. It still feels like there's so much more for me to do, so many more ways for me to be impactful, even though I've touched millions of people's lives through the content that I've put out online. Like my cousins and friends and stuff, they're always like, why do you act like you're not known? I'm like, well, because the whole world doesn't know me, but then I'll go somewhere like on vacation and someone will call my name out. And I'm like, oh, well, man, I guess I should probably acknowledge the fact that I have a little bit of a following. But I do a lot in this space, not only as an intimacy coach, but as an intimacy coordinator for film and television, and also as a seminar coordinator and resident sexpert for the Exotica Expo, the largest event dedicated to love and sex in the USA. So, yeah.
You can take a breath from all your credentials, Tyomi. I'm like,
I didn't even roll them out. I was like,
that's
I'm
like
not going to do
portion,
it.
Yeah,
it is a small portion. I love every time you're on our show. And when I saw that you were going to be in our show again, I was like, yes. And when we met, our dogs fell in love. They were,
oh my gosh,
they were like raging.
So cute.
Remind me of your dog's name though. He's like a Maltese. He's like a Maltese.
Yes, he's a Maltese.
And he's
Theo.
like the size I wanted. Theo. He was the size I wanted Legend to be. Legend's perfect though, the way he is.
We love you, Legend.
But he was a rager like Legends. They played like together. And I actually left him for a while with you. And I was like, sorry.
Yeah. They were playing for like 15 minutes and they just forgot all about us. Like so freaking cute. And I think about that often. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish he lived closer so they could play all the time.
Doggy day. Just come and visit us anytime. You are welcome to Santa Cruz. And I know that you are just not only a busy entrepreneur, you're also expanding your sex life experience. When we first talked to you, I don't know how many years ago,
like 6, probably 6
years
my
ago,
guess.
7 years ago. No, 6 years ago.
Yeah, probably 6-ish.
Oh,
yeah.
It was that long ago? Oh my God.
5 to 6 for how to
say 5 to be safe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
Hopefully I mean, you look more fabulous. Amy, you look more fabulous. I'm working on it. Okay. Got bangs.
Fabulous.
You look fabulous too. Stop it.
That episode, How to Suck Boss How to suck boss.
How to suck your boss's dick.
No, that wasn't
Oh my God. That's the next one. We have to keep that one on this. That's just fucking awesome.
I'm dying right now.
Dick like a boss, but that's fabulous.
How to suck dick like a boss, but how to suck your boss's dick. How to dip your pen. Well, how to suck dick like a boss. It still is, as Amy said, one of our top episodes. And we were having a conversation in passing, and you were talking about how you are now more into not only like pleasing pussies, but also you have experience in more vulva play, and not only within thyself, but like with others. And I think that's so cool because that's an evolution. So you've grown this business. You've been experiencing other people. You've been being at the badass Tyomi self that you are. Every time we see you, you're in a different area. And I was like, where are you now? Like, she travels. If anybody hasn't checked out the Cowgirl work, like that workout is so awesome. It's so beautiful. Like the branding, what it gives you.
And
anybody can do it.
By the way.
And it gets you ripped. Like you can get ripped by just like making your hips work a little bit.
Absolutely.
So I'll get to the question, I promised, Tyomi, because I just wanted to give you a little bit more accreditation to anyone that hasn't heard that episode that you were on or seen your stuff. But now you have all of the, like, you've been told you eat pussy like a fucking boss, right? And I don't doubt that.
I've had no complaints at all.
So can you start by telling us more about how you found your way into perfecting the art of going down on pussies?
So I'll say this, it started with the art of just going down on dicks first, but also observing, like, when I'm on the receiving end, what works and what doesn't work. And that's the beautiful thing about being with women. It's like, I'm a woman too. So I'm very aware of a woman's body. I'm aware of the sensitivities, and I like to explore first. But the main thing was like building up mouth strength.
Oh, mouth strength, like actual like mouth muscles? Like strength?
Because people don't know this, but our lips are muscles. We have muscles all around, like the top of our lip, between the nose and the top lip, in the chin, and then the tongue. The tongue is actually the strongest muscle in the body because it's consistently exerting force, like, period. Even when it's in a resting state in our mouth, it's still exercising force. But what people don't understand is that if you're going to be a cunnilingus master or a master of oral sex in general, no matter where you're putting your mouth, in order to go the distance, it has to be strengthened. Because people get lockjaw because their jaws are overcompensating for what the lips and the tongue should be doing. But just like any other muscle in the body, if you don't work the muscles in your lips, and if you don't work the muscle in your tongue, or the muscle that is the tongue, they're going to get tired very quickly. And one thing I know about women is that every woman is different. Every vulva owner has a level of sensitivity that's going to be different than the other. And so some can come with a few flicks, and some need more suction, they need more pressure, and they need longer time. And it also depends on just how asleep the clitoris is, right? So, like, just knowing all of what I know in my background as a sexual health educator, knowing my own body, and then being able to explore women's bodies and talking to them about what they like, that's how I have perfected my technique. And I'm telling you, like, I've had no complaints. 5 stars.
Does that mean if I can go like, does that mean I have a strong tongue? Does that mean my tongue is strong? I should only hook up with people that can do that? I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna show you a few exercises you can do.
Oh, but now well, everyone's listening, by the way, we have a YouTube channel. So this whole video will be there. We'll have little clips on social media. We might not be able to put all of these ones there. So just go to Shameless Sex's YouTube to see what we're talking about. Yeah.
So this is interesting, right? Because I learned these techniques from a book called Blow Him Away. It's by Marcy Michaels. And she's a speech therapist. So a lot of these exercises she actually uses in her practice to help with people's diction and speech and everything, right? But this one trick, because this was in her book, but for some reason, my mom taught me this at a very young age, just because it was a trick that she used to do to pass the time. And all you do is take a pen or a pencil, you put it between your nose and your upper lip, and you curl your lip up and you keep it there.
Oh, wow.
I need a pen. Okay, we'll practice this later.
Right.
But
okay. We don't have a pen. Okay,
And so
that's impressive.
the goal is
that's
to
building
keep
muscle.
it there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You balance it there for as long as you can. And that builds up the muscle in the top lip.
Is this going to create wrinkles, though? Damn it. I stopped using straws because I was like, I'm going to get wrinkles. Damn it.
Botox if I do this.
Well, it's curling up. So if anything, it'll just help like with the upper curl of your lip.
All right. I mean, you make me feel better about everything, Tyomi.
Yeah,
it's too thick. It's chapstick. I'm trying to do it.
I know. I practice with chapstick, but it's so hard. You want something thinner, like a pencil or a pen or even a straw.
April
like
nailed it. She's nailing with a chapstick. Oh my God.
Oh, did a chapstick. Not for long.
Almost nailed it. Anyway, sorry.
I have a strong upper lip.
Yes. And so you just hold it there for a few seconds, like on and off. I try to go as long as I can, and then I'll take a break because what you'll notice is like, this is kind of sore. And it's because it's like you just did like a few curls, like with a bicep, but just with your upper lip. And then another one, I'm not going to give too many away, but another one that's so common that we all do for pictures is duck lips, right? So, but with this, you want to be intentional in moving your lips away from your teeth to do like the duck lip and just bring your lips together and then bring them back. So it looks like this.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Sorry, you got to watch on YouTube.
You look way better than I do, Tyomi.
Yeah.
When I do that, I look like a fucking weirdo, but I think you look hot.
But I see that you're doing this like intentional, like duck lip, like pushing out and then in. Yeah.
Yep. Because you're basically building up the motion in your lips because your lips should have a motion of being able to grab. And when your lips can grab, you can grab pussy lips, inner and outer. You can also grab around the clitoris and create suction. The lips being able to move like this, like in an in and out motion, that's what helps to create suction. And people underestimate the power of suction when eating pussy. Like for all of us that love those pulsating toys, like the Rose.
That's me. Yep.
Me. Rose, Satisfier, Womanizer, all of those with like the air pulsating technology. That's where suction comes in. And that same kind of pressure can be created with the lips and the tongue. But people make this mistake of just like flicking with the tip of the tongue the whole time. It's like, okay, all right, that's cool. And it's a powerful technique. You definitely need that. But those of us that need the pressure, we need the suction.
Or like the flicking's like a time and place. Right.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. In the suction thing, I can imagine also like when I'm using my womanizer toy, I'm not just putting it right on my clit and letting it like just suction out like crazy as fast and hard as possible.
Attention, dudes who are on the adventurous side.
I love sexually adventurous dudes. So hot and so many possibilities.
And if you want stronger, full body orgasms, so strong, some folks even call them super O's. Do you want those? If so, keep listening because we have an offer for 20% off the ultimate perineum, aka that taint, massager. And it doesn't even go inside your bum.
That's right. Butter Wellness launched the Perineum Massager, the only device designed to externally stimulate the male G-spot. No insertion, just pure external magic. Not only can the Perineum Massager give you super O's, but it can also help with stronger erections and better prostate health.
And it's not just for dudes, y'all. I've actually used the Perineum Massager by Better Wellness on my clit during partnered play. I love how it contours the body so I can get those strong vibrations no matter what position I'm playing in. Plus, Butter Wellness has a butter starter kit, which includes the Perineum Massager and their pH-balanced, lightweight, water-based lube. It's your one-stop shop to that Pleasureville.
And right now, Butter Wellness is offering our listeners 20% off your order when you enter code SHAMELESS at butterwellness.com. That's Butter Wellness, BUTTERWELLNESS, and use code SHAMELESS to get 20% off the Perineum Massager. Don't miss out. Visit butterwellness.com, use code SHAMELESS, and check the episode's description for the link. Enjoy your smooth adventuring. Are you ready for the Unleash Tour? where shamelessness, sexiness, and laughter collide in a hilarious orgy of fun, discovery, and sex edutainment. Embark on a captivating nationwide journey with the Shameless Sex Podcast and an electrifying ensemble of sex educators and sex-positive entertainers as they bring you an unforgettably titillating live experience. Be a part of mesmerizing, entertaining, boundary-pushing acts, shameless sex style. Ever heard of the Slurpee stick shift? Want to learn how to bury your face in her? How about some dirty talk improv or brat taming 101?
Get ready for nonstop laughter as our charismatic hosts and entertainers weave humor into the fabric of this liberating celebration of sexual diversity and freedom. Engage in interactive segments, Q&A sessions, and a chance to connect with like-minded individuals in an inclusive and empowering environment. Listen up, Portland, Chicago, Seattle, we're coming to you. For more information and to get your tickets right now, go to shamelesssex.com and be part of a night that will be fun, educational, sexy, hilarious, and shamelessly unforgettable. Seats are filling up fast, so don't miss out on the most unforgettable show of the year.
We have more questions for the tips that we're going to get to, and so we're going to get there. But I want to ask you this other question first. What about your least favorite mouth on your own pussy experiences? And I know it's probably, I like that the face that you just made. Like, I know it's different per experience, the environment, the partner, but just to kind of paint a picture of like, if you could generalize it, what happened, how did it go, and why was it not your favorite mouth on your pussy experiences?
I'm going to say the first thing I have to tell people is if you're not enthusiastic about it, and if you don't want to do it, and if you don't want to be down there, and if you're doing it because it feels obligatory, but you have some kind of hang up around it, we can feel that. Like we can literally feel that. And there's always this weird disconnection where, the mouth is down there, the mouth is touching you, but it feels like it doesn't want to. And so there is never a full on suction. It's like the mouth is just open, saliva is just running out. So everything's just really wet, or teeth are being used because the face is being pressed too hard into the vulva. Come on, guys, please. If you don't want to be down there, just don't. But those have been the worst experiences. Too much saliva, teeth being used, or the face being pressed in. And then if it is, somebody with a beard or a mustache that's down there, listen, the stash burn, the beard burn is a real thing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
100%.
We don't talk about that enough now. I think that's probably why I prefer people without beards or mustaches going down, because it's not that weird abrasion, which burns afterwards and literally feels like I've been dragging my pussy across carpet.
Oh, sandpaper. Oh no.
It's like when you make out with someone with a prickly, you get that rash, that really
here and here.
Rash.
You have it for a week later,
and it is like a carpet burn.
Yeah, you get all freaked out, what the fuck is this rash? And then you forget you were making out with somebody with facial hair, right? Because it's so thick and prickly. But those are things you have to think about, especially if you are a person with a mustache or a beard going down. You don't want to press your face so hard into the vulva. I understand having enthusiasm, but being so enthusiastic where you're dragging your entire face across and the hair is doing a thing. No.
You're doing
doesn't feel good.
Full pussy motorboat,
right?
And then it's a beard, but it seems like with facial hair and even shaving your pussy, there's this in between phase, right? If you're shaving, you shave and 2 days later you got the prickles, and then there's I grew it out for 2 weeks now, and so now it's soft. But that in between phase, it seems like you need to be a little more careful.
I've literally told partners in the past, hey, my hair is growing back, so it might feel like sandpaper. I've literally given them this forewarning just so that they're not complaining to me oh, it was feeling a little weird. It's I told you I shaved and it's growing back. So you still want to go forward.
Yeah.
Not my problem now. It's don't give me a mark down because I gave you the warning already.
I have a question for both of you and how you two relate to this. And this is just my thing. So I don't really do well when a mouth just goes to my pussy without some hands on it first, but this is just me. And I'm curious what your experiences are. Like my pussy seems
It's just straight to the
like a you're like making out and the mouth just goes right to the pussy. Yeah.
No, I honestly like mouth on inner thighs. And I recently discovered this spot on my right thigh, like in the bikini area. Oh my God. I don't even know what's up in that area, but it is a super erogenous zone where I have these intense orgasms when it's either massaged or licked or stroked or bitten. I don't know.
like near the outer labia, like close to it. But
it's not even close. It's like in the bikini, in like the groin area, like the bikini area leading to the vulva. Like it's amazing. So if they can spend time there first, like in the bikini area, not even anywhere near the mons, or like massage my inner thighs, because that area doesn't get as much love as I wish for it to. And then wake the clit up first with fingers and massage my lips. Like, give me a mini yoni massage first, because it's always a turn off for me. And I think it's just because I've had so many experiences like this where in my partner's minds, foreplay is, let me just eat the pussy for like 5 minutes, get it really wet down there, then she'll be ready and I can enter. No. In these days and times, I need more than that. I definitely need a warm up with hands and the mouth without the mouth even touching the vulva yet. Because if it just goes straight there, I'm like, I should be reading a book right now. Unless I'm like really, really turned on by that person and I already know their skill set, that I'm like, come on, let's do it. But that's rare. That's rare.
I feel you on all levels of that statement. And I feel the same way. So it's a fact to me in my life. One thing I learned back in the day when I was at a class that Midori was teaching at Pure Pleasure.
I love her.
It was about, it was called like How to Suck a Peach back then. And
How to Eat a Peach.
How to Eat a Peach, sorry. How to Pleasure a Pussy Like a Boss is how to eat a peach, which I didn't really know. I was like, why am I taking this class? I have a pussy. But I learned so many things because we're talking about hair and then even like pubic hair, because I have eaten pussy myself. And I realized that one tip, like if you are a pussy owner that has any hair, you can use, Midori suggested using like a little bit of conditioner and I thought it was so genius. That. And I mean, I learned it from her. And so I have done that before, but then I feel like people with beards could also do that. And it will probably have the same effect if you use to soften maybe some of if you have like longer prickly hair. I haven't really played with that because I don't own a beard, but I know when my pussy was like somewhat prickly, not when it's like stubbly prickly if I've done a full shave, but it has helped. I know I've asked partners like, how does the pubic hair feel? Or how does the hair feel? And then on the beards, like my partner, after it gets to a certain length, it will help soften the actual experience. I remembered that and I wanted to share. So if anybody, I don't know, out there, and you can probably use different kinds of, like, even if it's like to soften it, just like to leave it on there and then rinse it out.
Or even just some silicone lube.
Or like silicone lube or coconut oil or something.
Oh yeah, coconut oil, so it's edible.
Break out if I use that in my face. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe that's a hack. Thank you, Midori. That was 2009 probably.
Yeah.
When I learned
that's a great hack though.
Yeah. I know. Thank you, Midori.
Put in some leave-in conditioner.
Yeah. Oh, leave-in. So it's still there later.
Yeah, it's still going. So I had a question for you, because I guess we're talking about what you've learned over the years as an oral sex receiver, and also as someone that's a giver, and specifically to pussies right now, right? So what are your top, and this is like a three-tiered questions, like your top tips, and I think that's our listeners love the tips. You've already given some, but any more top tips? And then maybe some trials that may work or may not. And then maybe some tribulations, which you've already covered. But anything that you feel like those three-tiered tips, most importantly, trials and tribulations. Thank you, Tyomi.
So definitely don't ignore the lips. I know there's a lot of education around the head of the clitoris and how important it is in waking up or engorging the rest of the clitoris underneath the surface that we don't see that surrounds the vagina or the vaginal opening. But the lips have some erectile tissue too, and also some great nerve endings. And because they are folded up most of the time, protecting our bits, they don't get as much love. Like they only get disturbed when we're like wiping ourselves or like cleaning ourselves. So when it comes to pleasure, you do want to take some time to first part them with your fingers. Make sure your fingernails are clean. Okay. Because even if you just like scratch your skin, right? Let's say you just washed your hands, but if you scratch your skin, you are going to have cells underneath your skin, underneath your nails. So either like trim your nails down or just give them a quick like wash before you start playing with the pussy, because you don't want to transfer anything in. Like as soon as you see the pink that everybody loves, that's mucous membrane, it's like a direct portal into our bodies. So you just want to make sure everything's clean, but part those lips, massage them between your index and your thumb finger, and massage from the top where the lips connect at the clitoral hood all the way down to where they meet at the introitus or the opening of the vagina. And just take notice. Take notice of how your partner breathes, how they respond, because that's going to tell you what areas of the lips are more sensitive. And some people have thicker, fleshier, larger inner labia than others. So you might not be able to grab a bunch of skin if they don't have a lot of folds of the inner labia, but you still want to give it attention and then transfer that to the outer labia, the thicker, fleshier lips. And don't forget to massage in between both. Now, once you do that with your fingers, it's like you're surveying the land. So then you can do that same thing with the tip of your tongue as far as rubbing in between the large and smaller lips. And then you could take your lips and grab the big lips or the small lips, and you can rub them in between your lips where it's like fleshy and silky and wet. So you're literally lip locking.
It's true.
Yes, you are lip locking. So when you lip lock, that's like a foreplay before even getting to the clitoris, because the vulva now is like, oh, we got action. And now things can become lubricated. Blood can be sent to the area. You will start to see the lips swell a little bit. And now you're waking the clit up, because you don't want to just go straight to the clit without some type of engorgement first or erection. Because if you guys don't know this, you know, people with vulvas, we get erections too. You just don't see it the same way as you do a penis. And the way that you notice it is not just from lubrication, but from the swelling of the vulva, because it gets thicker and it changes in color. It'll become like a deeper pink or deeper red color, or a deeper purple for people who have darker skin tones. So pay attention. That's why I like personally don't like sex in like complete darkness, because I need to see what is happening. I need to see things. So play with the lips, then go up to the clit. And my best piece of advice is to ask your person, how do you like it? How do you want to be sucked or licked? Do you like suction? Do you like more suction, or do you like more licking? You know, and when you do decide to lick, don't just use the tip of your tongue. Also use the flat part of your tongue as well. Like think of a cat like licking or cleaning itself, and how you see it widen its tongue so it can like cover more surface area. When you widen your tongue, you're able to lick outer lips, inner lips, depending on how thick your tongue is now. Because I have a big tongue, so I forget everybody doesn't have the same kind of tongue. But if you flatten your tongue out, you can cover more surface area at one time. And it's very sexy when you can literally just like lick from the bottom up. It's like, oh, shit. This person is going to be an eater. It's just like a signal that they're going to
they want
like,
to be
put
all,
in work.
they were like all up in me, and that's super hot.
It's it's very sexy. So as far as trials, I would say when you get down there, try anything. Now, the one thing that I would not try without consent is teeth, because some people might like their lips or their clit nibbled on, and that is okay. But just ask first, because you don't want to introduce teeth and like cause a trauma. But when it comes to how you move your lips and how you move your tongue, literally try anything. And if there is a movement that you notice your partner like raises their hips up towards, or they're like starting to grind their hips, or they're grabbing onto your head and like pushing you closer, they're basically directing you and they're saying, don't stop that. Because I'm telling you, the head of the clit is, for some people, it's going to be bigger or smaller, but it's so minute, like where the spot is, that if you move from that spot, all of the arousal that you just built up that's moving towards that orgasm is going to drop down.
Wow.
And it's like, you got to start over again. You know the feeling. It's like you're feeling it rising and then they move and you're like, yo, why didn't you just stay in that spot? I just wanted you to stay right there, but you got adventurous a little too soon. Just stay
or
there.
Sometimes they can overdo that sensation and go too hard with it. And I'm like,
you're so excited.
That part.
Let me give more.
Yeah,
more.
and I'm like, no. And then I'm like, how do I get them to go back out? Damn it.
How do I get them to go?
You're so right about that. That is like one of the things I think people don't understand is how hard they press in. You don't have to go hard on the clit, y'all. You don't. Like literal light strokes when it comes to flicking and even with suction. You don't want to put a hickey on the pussy, y'all. Like, please. You don't have to suck like you're Count Dracula. Just a nice little suction, and you can test this out by testing it on the back of your hand. Or if you can reach, the inner side of your arm. The most ideal place would be like right in the middle where your arm creases to bend. But it's hard to get there.
Like the pit of your arm, but not your arm.
There.
Yeah. Like I cannot get there at all.
I know it's so hard to get there. That's why like inner wrist or even the back of the hand where the skin is kind of thin. That's like the best place to practice. So if you want to like just create suction, just to feel how it's going to feel against your own skin. And if it feels too tight or too hard, then you just want to adjust that suction. Because like the larger the lips and the larger the tongue, it's very easy to like create a suction that could cause bruising. And you don't want to do that. So don't go too hard. Start soft. And then if your partner is giving you the signal, whether it's a nonverbal signal of them grabbing onto your head or moving you into a different direction or grinding their hips, or they say like harder or softer, listen, take notes, and adjust accordingly. Mm-hmm. But like you said, don't overdo it. Because if you overdo it, there can also be a turnoff. There has to be an even plane, like an even medium between all of the movements.
Yeah, the overdo it's like, okay, so now I might need a break. Time for a quick break to talk about one of our sponsors who just so happens to be our absolute favorite lube, Uberlube. Uberlube is a luxurious silicone lubricant and it enhances intimacy. It's there when you want it and it blends in when you're done with it. So you have control over that lube. It's long lasting and leaves the skin extra velvety. And honestly, y'all, I want it all over my body. Thousands of doctors in the U.S. are recommending Uberlube to their patients. It's body-friendly, less likely to change the pH, and it has vitamin E, so it feels extra moisturizing.
There's a reason why we've been a fan of Uberlube for years. There's no flavor or scent. It's even great for oral sex, everyone. But it's not just great for sex. You can use it for massage, your hair. You can prevent chafing. It even brings out the colors of your beautiful tattoos. And the bottle is absolutely gorgeous. It looks more like a cosmetic, so you can leave it anywhere shamelessly for easy access. Just go to uberlube.com and use the discount code shameless10 to get 10% off and free shipping. Again, that's uberlube.com right now with code shameless10 for 10% off and free shipping. This podcast is also brought to you by OMGS.com. Join over 1 million people who are experiencing more pleasure with OMGS. They take scientific research of thousands of vulva owners, showing techniques to pleasure that pussy. They turn this research into tasteful, educational short videos, animated modules, and infographics. OMGS is for anyone who wants to learn about vulva pleasure or take it to the next level. Want to take your orgasms from good to out of this world? Then check out OMGS. Or if you're a vulva lover and want to up your pussy pleasuring skills, then you need to check out OMGS.
I've personally been recommending OMGS to my clients for years, and it's completely changed their lives. They have 3 seasons, external pleasure, internal pleasure, and sex toys. It's not a subscription service, and you don't need to download a thing. OMGS also makes a fabulous gift, and your purchase supports more pleasure research. So just go to omgs.com/shameless to get 10% off right now. Again, that's omgs.com/shameless to receive 10% off unlimited access towards enhancing your pleasure power. The link is in the episode's description. So, and what I'm hearing from a lot, I mean, there's a lot of tips there, but also being present, paying attention to your partner, from the physical things like, you know, what is their pussy? Is it getting, your pussy getting engorged, to the sounds they're making, but also like if they're moving towards you, that probably means like, I want you closer to me. And if they're moving away or like, I don't know, clenching a little bit. So just being present for that. So I have a question for you. This is a lot about like the giver, right? What the giver can do. What about for receivers, right, of pussy pleasure, right? How can, you know, I have a pussy, April has a pussy, you have a pussy. How can we, what are some top tips for pussy eating, go and say that, receivers? How can we navigate that space to make the experience even more awesome for us, but also for everyone?
Being as vocal as possible. And I know that I'm guilty sometimes of going silent. Being vocal to where you're not coming off as bossy unless they're into that, but being able to direct them in the direction where they should go. And then also just like taking their hand and just being like, hey, touch me like this first. Do you see how that feels? Okay, now like literally directing them through. It's kind of like giving jerk off instructions, but it's for you instead of them. And turning it into like a guided experience for your partner. So that way they can start to build up that dexterity in their fingers to start there first, instead of just going straight down with their mouth, and then choosing different positions. Because the go-to position is like lie on your back, knees are bent, spread the knees, there and there. And sometimes the reason why we can get bored with the process is because we are in that position of like, okay, I got to look down over my titties and my belly if I got a stomach, and I'm seeing just the like weird top part of their head. Then they're trying to look up and it's like, no, that looks weird, you know, like, and then you're just face to like look up at the ceiling, like, okay, so you can ride the face. And it can come under you like a car mechanic, or you can just get on top of their face if they're lying down flat and you straddle their shoulders. So that way your pussy is right there, up in their face, and you can just hang on to the back of the headboard and you can just ride that way, but just try different positions. Even having them eat it from the back. So that way you can have these different sensations, because sometimes it's not about the stroke pattern or even the suckage. It's the position. It feels different when their mouth is hitting the vulva from a different angle. And being okay with saying, hey, let's switch this position. The vocal part's really important because, again, we have so many more like lessons on sucking dick. I mean, even in popular culture, when we see examples of oral sex, a lot of times, like the scenes are very quick. Even in porn, scenes are quick with pussy eating. So we don't have like a lot of deep instruction that we see proliferated throughout the internet. So, and every vulva is different. So it's very important for us to be as vocal as possible in advocating for our pleasure and advocating for what we need, even telling them, right there, don't stop, I'm almost there. Because, and in the beginning too, if you know that you're not a quick comer and it's going to take you 20, maybe 25, 30 minutes to come, let them know that you don't come quick, because there's nothing worse than them trying to encourage you to squirt or orgasm or whatever. And you know, you're like, this is only 5 minutes in. It's not happening. Like, prepare your mouth and your jaw for the long haul. Like, so vocal.
I love that, because Tyomi, I am a person that rarely can orgasm from oral alone. And so I always talk to folks before and my partner now, and I'm like, hey, just want you to know, I love when you go down on me, and just so you know, it's rare. I've probably orgasmed this many times from oral. It was like twice, and it's still only twice. And he's like, really, really? And so it feels like that much better. And I wanted to get to a question about it because I feel like there's like the communication can be really hard when you are not enjoying something. When someone's really into it, that's between your legs as a receiver. And I've ran into that so many times because I know myself. And yes, maybe I was in my head and I just knew. I've had a lot more partners that have gone down on me in my life than I've actually had their penises or been down on their vulvas or something. So I know, I feel like my experience has been, hey, I'm most likely not going to go there. However, I'm open to it. And there's been folks where I'm like, I'm communicating and this just isn't happening. So I kind of squeeze their head with my legs really hard. And I'm like,
that nonverbal cue.
Yes, nonverbal cue. And I'm like, oh, I really just want your penis inside of me, which is true. Or I really just want to feel your body on my body. Or I just want to I want to actually touch your body. Or sometimes I've even said, hey, oh, that's great. You did a great job. I think I'm full now.
Can I ask that question about the squeezing though? To you, April, so I think for some people, if your thighs squeeze them, they might think that you're so excited that you can't control your legs and you're squeezing them though. I've used
this tactic for years.
Squeeze and pull away a little bit.
Yeah, the pull. I do the pull away as well.
You don't squeeze and get closer to them if it's not.
Nope. Because I've definitely used my thighs to like headbang, be like, come here. But but typically it's the squeeze and push away, like, hey, can I get dick now? That's always a request. Like, can I get dick now? I'm good here. Cause like, and I'm 100% with you in like wanting to encourage them to do something that makes them feel good. But when I'm complete, I want to move on. Because then I just start getting annoyed, and I don't want to get annoyed and turned off because I'm just trying to do it for their pleasure. It's like, listen, we can move on from this. I don't have to orgasm from this. And that's the thing too. I think if we set out in the beginning to say, let's have fun and let's stimulate each other's bodies and let's make it about turning each other on versus let's make it about making me orgasm, because it's this idea specifically from penis owners that's the only orgasm we're going to have. It's the one that's created from oral sex, because they don't understand the full capacity of our orgasmic potential as vulva owners and the multitude of orgasms that we can have in one sexual setting. They just think it's rubbing the head of the clit. If you make her come there, then boom, that's it. Then now I can have my fun. No. No. So if we just make it about turning each other on and getting blood flowing to the area instead of, I gotta make them come from this, I think there's less pressure to even have that kind of like awkward transitional conversation where you want to move on to something different. But, they have that goal of like, I just want to get her there, or I just want to get them there. It's like, you don't have to do that.
This is why I already set up myself. And I don't know if anyone out there loves oral so much and they know that they can get down and have orgasms from it all the time. That's amazing. And congratulations. For me, I always set up like, I love when you go down on me and I'm going to let you know when I want your cock inside of me or when I want to suck your cock, and I'm speaking to like the penis owning friends, partners that I've had. That's been my MO. And I've been communicative about it. And I feel like it's always good to premise it with that, right? So it's not, the expectations are minimal, because I personally, and this is just a personal thing, and some people might be like, what are you talking about? This is amazing. I don't want anyone going down on me for like 30 minutes. I need to do something else aside from look up what you're talking about, the ceiling, like, oh yeah. or I'm like, maybe if you eat my ass too, and I'm like doggy style, that's fucking hot. I just don't personally want that. And so I know that. And so I will initiate other conversations during the changing position things is clutch. It's such a key bit of advice.
Yes.
And if you know your body, if you are listening to this and you're like, well, I don't know, or you're a pussy worshiper, lover, and you're like, I don't know, or I don't know. So these are the times to have these conversations. Listen to this podcast. Fully listen to more of Tyomi's work, because we have to wrap up. We have 2 more things, if that's okay, Tyomi.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because people are obsessed, as you know, from the several episodes and probably from your life as a sex expert. They love tips, not just the tip, but all the tips and bonus tips. So it's like, so let's talk about if we took this to like the next level, like pussy pleasure 2.0, especially I think for like the folks that, because I feel like receiving, we sort of dial, but what about for the givers? Do you have any tips for taking your pussy pleasure up another notch? And if it's something to the effect of leaving them feeling like they are on the pathway to mastery, maybe. Up to you what you want to share. Pussy pleasure 2.0.
I love to please the pussy, and I'm good at it, but I want to take it up a notch. Just like, and I know
think they're good at it.
And I know you said you're not going to share all the things, so just give us like if you have any, like 1 to 2 teasers, because everyone else, if we want more, we'll tell you how to find it.
Definitely tease the pussy. Okay. And when I say tease the pussy, I mean, if you know that you're good at something, you're going to take your time. You're not going to rush into it. You're not going to try to like do all of your tricks out of the gate, and you're most certainly not going to do them quickly. You want that person to know that they have been touched by you and that you were there. It's like putting your mark on that person. So literally think of your tongue and your lips as like paintbrushes, you know, where you get to create a masterpiece. Take your time and really tease, and then use your finger tips. Okay. There are some pussy owners that need pressure. So if you can apply pressure to the introitus or the opening of the vagina, and all you need is like the 2 inches in, you don't need like the full finger unless she's like, or they are like, go in deeper, then cool, to get those deeper erogenous zones. But if you want to hit the G area, then use your fingers. And also that can help extend the lifespan of your mouth. If you could take a break and use your fingers to stimulate, and not just internally, but you can also do like internal 2 fingers on the G area and the thumb on the clit, and you can rub them both at the same time.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yo, if you've never done it to yourself, if you've never done it to yourself as a person with a vagina, you need to try that shit. It's amazing. And so, and I'll say that too, like if you are a pussy owner wanting to go down on a pussy, do all of these things to yourself. Now, unless you have like no ribs, you can't eat your own pussy, but at least with the fingers, right? You can touch yourself in this way, and you can like know what to do with your fingers as far as just like playing with the lips and everything. But use fingers as an assistant and as a transitional movement to give your mouth a rest. While your fingers continue to stimulate and apply the pressure that's needed, and to continue to move your partner along in the arousal process.
It sounds like I mean, this is going to sound all hippie to everyone. It's a journey, but it is because like if someone, so say I had a regular partner of 4.5 years, which I do, right? He knows that him going down on my pussy is different every day. And he's doing a lot of things that you're saying, but I'm going to have him listen to this too, because some other good things too. That every day is different, just as it is with new partners. And so you're riding the ride of this person, this pussy owning individual, and they're hopefully doing their best on their end to be communicative and to like hopefully understand their body before they're sharing that with you. And the communication, it goes throughout the whole process. And there's so many, we could have this this conversation for, 20 plus hours. And I know that your time is valuable and that you have a lot of offerings. I actually don't know the answer to this. I don't know if you have created an online workshop where people can take this whole course from you yet. I think, and I could be wrong, you were maybe going to write a book. I know you're starting a podcast. So can you please tell our listeners, and it doesn't have to just be about this topic, but how they can find you, work with you, take all of your courses, buy the books, get the podcast that will be out whenever this comes out. I think this is coming out mid to late June of 2024. But how can people get more Tyomi in their lives?
Well, by the time this episode comes out, my I call it a MUNCH. It's my MUNCH course. It'll be fully launched on thepleasureacademy.com, as well as other oral sex courses and other courses you can take around relaxation. Just all of my evergreen courses live on thepleasureacademy.com. So you can sign up there. Also free tips on glamorerotica101.com. And I am launching a podcast, the Solo Poly podcast with my friend, Pectress the Pagan Stallion. And
it's a great name,
podcast,
by the way, to say.
Isn't it? She is
That's
amazing.
actually a really genius. I love that title.
She is amazing. And so the Solo Poly podcast was just birthed because both of us are people who identify as femmes, and we have been on a solo poly journey for a long time. And we have a lot of stories, some good, some not so good. And we just want to help other people to navigate this space who currently identify as solo poly. And if they don't, but they think this sounds like them, then we just want to give them the rules to being a poly player, as we call it. So I'm super excited to start this journey with her. Everybody's been like, when's your podcast coming? And this is our podcast together, but I'm also working on my own solo podcast. So once we have our stuff solidified, I'll be having my own podcast too. But you can always keep up with me on Instagram at @RealGlamazonTyomi for all the updates on what's coming, future virtual workshops in person. I'll also be on tour with Exotica all 2024. So you can see me at Exotica Miami, Exotica New Jersey, and Exotica DC. And, again, follow me on social so you can keep in touch with me, and my newsletter. All that stuff will be located in the link in my bio on Instagram.
And the Cowgirl Workout, too.
The cowgirlworkout.com. Listen, we are now the home of the quickie, 25-minute workouts. So that way you can power through your day, but start with what I call a body meditation. So we're going to be relaunching with a challenge, a hip opening challenge starting June 1st. So you can, by the time this episode comes out, the challenge will already be uploaded and ready for people to participate in. But I'm super excited about what's coming for the Cowgirl Workout. There's some other things in the works too that I have to keep silent on for right now, but we shall see more things coming from the Cowgirl Workout.
Mom, we can't get enough of Tyomi.
All the
Give
things,
us all
y'all.
of it. Please.
And then in September, the Sex Down South Conference, we are hosting the Love Out Loud Film Fetty. And super excited about this because we are featuring films from various backgrounds. So if you are interested in coming to our film festival, which isn't just a film festival, it's a party. We have all kinds of workshops and events and panel discussions for those that are cinephiles and want to join with us in this occasion. It's happening 2 days before the start of Sex Down South's conference. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of going to run into each other. But we're going to have an award ceremony at our Big Bang to award those who have basically won prizes at the film festival. So that's September 3rd and 4th, 2024. So make sure you guys go to sexdownsouth.com. Check us out, get your tickets because they go pretty fast, but we want to make sure that you're in the building for sure.
So there's a lot of links to Tyomi. You can always find all of this information in the show notes. And this, there are so many, you are very reachable. And I'm assuming if people do want to reach out and learn more, if they're like, wait, what website? What was it? You can find Tyomi on Instagram or DM her and she can let you know because it's wild and how much you do. It's always crazy. It's impressive. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And
Thank you so much.
did you have something you wanted to add, Miss Amy?
Oh no, I'm just I was going to say the show notes thing because those are a lot of pieces. So we know everyone.
If you're driving or something, don't write things down.
Yeah, you can always
You
go
can
back.
mark it.
We'll have all these things there, and we're just so stoked to have you on our show again. And we'll have you back because apparently we needed a solo poly episode 2.
Absolutely.
I'll be happy to share.
And congrats on all your successes. You are crushing it. And you're such a queen. And we are just honored to have you on the show again and continue to see you flourish and thrive because you are such a gift. So thank you, Tyomi, for everything that you're doing. You're changing this world, making it a better place. And to all of our Shameless Sex listeners, find Tyomi, find all of her work because she has so much. Definitely check out the Cowgirl Workout and her new podcast. Go to the show notes if you don't know, or just rewind if you want to learn more. But we love each and every one of you. Go ahead and obviously like us. If you don't like us on socials, we're hard to find. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you can find us for Shadow Banned, but you can still find us. Shameless Sex. You can check out Shameless Sex, Amy's Shameless Sex account. She's not Shadow Banned yet. We're not putting out there that she will be.
Don't do it, IG.
It doesn't happen. And other than that, though, we will see you next Tuesday. Oh, if you rate us, it also helps more people find folks like Tyomi and her work. And that's really important because this is a free tool for you. All you have to do is listen. So your ratings mean the world to us, y'all. We will see you in a city near you soon as well. So check out shamelesssex.com because Amy and I are doing live shows and we can't wait to see you there. All right. We'll see you next Tuesday. Oh, Tyomi, I love you so much. Okay. All right. Ciao for now, everyone.
Want to learn more? Go to shamelesssex.com. And for 15% off of some of our favorite sex toys, use coupon code shamelesssex at purepleasureshop.com.